Monday morning, just dropped off my daughter at the preschool, driving to the office, and yesterday I was showing a house, and right now we're in fall 2024, historically one of the slowest seasons in the year and also in a couple of years. If we look past a couple of years, we'll see that this year is going to be one of the slowest. Amount of transactions is lower than ever. Election year, interest rates are one of the highest throughout the years, and even though there was multiple showings at the same time, so we came after somebody came after us looking at the house. And for you guys that are newer agents, I want to kind of give a couple of tips of how I was showing this house. As soon as you walk in, my client had their parents with them, and they were like skeptical. They never met me, so they're kind of looking at you, gauging you. They want to see if you're good or not. My clients know that I'm good, but their parents don't. So they immediately start asking, what's this house? What the year is built? Was this a flip? Was this purchased and redone? So I kind of knew all that. I prepared beforehand, but I also had my MLS sheet right with me on the phone, screenshot. So we started with, looking around. I usually, when I'm looking at the front of the house, I would usually say, this roof looks old, the roof looks newer. People don't really notice things. Between the driveway and the garage door, there was a big gap, and I was pointing it out and saying that, there's a chance that the water is going to go in, so this would need to be sealed. The asphalt had bumps, so I said it's old asphalt, probably will need to be redone. Just look at it, it's probably average $5,000. If you're a brand new agent who is just getting started in the business, you're not going to know all the prices, but it's good to make a note and just try to learn things and asking, top producers. One tip that I would give you right now. As soon as we walked in, I pointed out, and they pointed out that it's a little bit darker. So I said, look, there's only windows facing north. There's no other sides that has windows. So that's one thing. And all the upgrades, I pointed out that they're not brand new. The house was bought in 2016, and it looks like people did the work in 2016, and it's a 7-year-old rehab. They're like, yeah, makes sense. Windows. Usually people don't know how to look at it. I pointed out on the windows, they're old. Overall, the house was beautiful. The house looked really nice, to be honest. And the floor plan is great, and the space is good. But the windows need to be replaced. We walk down to the basement, there's a bar, there's flooring is great. They're asking what type of flooring is this, so I kind of pointed out that in the basement it's vinyl, and upstairs it's Pergo, it's engineered hardwood. So all these things, that's why they kind of need you, because you want to show them things that they don't pay attention to, and you want to point out things that with experience you're going to have it, but once you're newer or starting out, or maybe even a couple of years in the business, not so busy, you just show a house and you just listen. But you need to be showing things, because they don't know what to look at as well, and they rely on you for that. And at the end, we kind of looked, and they looked, and I said, do you have a feeling that the house is pulling you? And she's like, I'm not feeling that, but it's a nice house. And I'm like, usually my clients, when they walk in, they kind of feel that this is the house. If you don't have it, we might need to look for it. So that already gave me an idea that even if we go into contract, this might not still go through, because every time I put a contract in, I don't want to be canceling it. So I'm kind of qualifying the contract all the time. And that is one of the things that served me really, really well. And for newer agents, it's a little bit foreign to understand. They usually try to get a contract for whatever, cost, and let's just get a contract and figure it out later. But this usually ends not so well. You want to qualify. And at the end of the showing, I was like, in my opinion, I probably see this is going to get multiple. You need to replace windows, because in a couple of rooms there's film taped over the windows. Probably it's leaking. It's probably cold. The furnace is old. The panel is replaced. Water heater is replaced. Roof is good. These major things are done. but just count for windows and furnace. If we can get it for the full price, it's good. So they said, yeah, let's do it. Let's write it for the full price. And we wrote it, but a couple minutes before we even sent the offer, we got an email that the buyer already has been chosen. And the agent wasn't really going into the, she was not replying to my calls, texts, nothing. She was just ghosting me. Whatever, it is what it is. They're not that, disappointed. It was just a good house. Husband was like, I felt like he wasn't really sure. That's the one thing that I really pay attention to with buyers. I don't have too many buyers right now because I give it to our agents mostly. But here and there, this was a past client of mine, a friend of mine, so I'll still serve those. And he was actually asking me, what do you think? Is this okay house? I'm like, you should be not even asking that. You should be like, I don't care what everybody says. This is the house that I want. And that's what I'm looking for, And that's what you should be looking to. Because mind you, I've sold probably close to 600 houses in 7 years in the business. And the first year I was trying to figure out how everything works. And then after that, I was just doubling my sales. So I cracked the formula, and I know how it works. And trust me, this trying to put the deal together and close it doesn't work. You have to make sure that the client is super happy, and that's the perfect property that works for them. Because you can sell it, but then they're gonna talk bad about you, and then it's not gonna work in the long term. There's a lot of agents that are doing really good, but then 5 years later they're struggling. Like, what the hell? That was my thing when I just got into the business. I was trying to figure out, like, how do I not end up like that? How do I not end up, having a good year and then having a bad year? This is ridiculous. And just by serving clients right, they will take care of you. Trust me, they will take care of you. You don't have to worry about nothing. Just serve your people, send them gifts. One they already bought, then a couple of years later, do that. But serve them. Give them what they're looking for. They're looking for their dream home, and for a good price. And sometimes the price is the second thing. Sometimes they just need to get a house, and the price. Sometimes they tell you up to 400, but then they end up buying 700, and they're very happy. So don't get hung up on the price. But I feel like if you're an agent right now and you're struggling or you're getting started, we're heading into a better time right now. 2025 is going to be a great year. It's going to be a busy year. We're coming off of 2023 and 24 with the lowest amount of transactions. And 25 is going to have more transactions, which is good for agents. It's not necessarily going to reflect in the sales prices, but amount of sales is good for agents, because more sellers, more buyers means more transactions, more sides, more business for agents. Whatever price doesn't matter for agents. It's like when the price go up, we have a lot of buyers. When the price goes down, we have a lot of sellers. As long as banks finance, as long as banks give loans, we're gonna be okay, because most, I'm not gonna say, it's probably 70% is mortgages, purchases, and then the rest 30% would be cash buyers. So we really rely on mortgages. Whatever interest rates do affect us, but we've been going from 3% to 8% for the last 2-3 years, and activity is still strong. Like, demand is strong. Is that the sellers went away? It's like ridiculous. The most ridiculous market anybody has seen. Nobody could have predicted this. But because we had such a low rates, everything from now on, we're locked in for another 10 years. But these people are locked in. And the only solution would be to build and to wait. Because these people have to build up so enough equity that they can trade their homes for bigger homes and be okay with the higher interest rates, because they have so much equity they can put it down and it's not going to cost them too much. But you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people are locked into 3% rates, and now to sell and buy something else, it's gonna be like, you know, I have to buy the 7% interest rate, and they don't want to do it because because it's too expensive. But once the time goes by, they're gonna have more equity, so they can use that equity to buy down the mortgage loan and have a smaller loan. And when it's smaller loan, it's not that expensive. So that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna have low inventory for many years from today. 2024, we're gonna have it for another 4 to 5 years, unless we're gonna build like crazy, which I don't know. Here where I'm at in Chicago and all these suburbs around, they're all already built up, so there's not much room in here. Unless we're just gonna be pushing over to further suburbs, and those are gonna get occupied, but there's not as many jobs, so people will be reluctant to go there. It's just you're gonna just cram up in closer to Chicago, and the prices will keep going up, and that's it. That's, you want it or not, and that's just the way it's gonna happen. But overall, this career is amazing. You know, real estate career for agents with no like higher education, just understanding how to work with people, understanding people's behavior, communication skills, understanding sales, that you really don't have to push any product on anybody. You just have to learn the issues. You need to learn the problems, the wishes of people, what they're looking for, and just see if you can find the solution. And also make sure you listen to people, because I'll tell you my story. I went to Rolex store because I was picking up my Tudor watch, and the salesperson looked at me and she was asking questions. You looking for Rolex? I'm like, I don't know, maybe not, but I don't know, you know, talk to me, I don't know. And she was pushing a certain Rolex on me. I'm like, no, I don't want these diamonds. Diamonds, I think, is for women, and I don't like them, because, you know, it's more for women. That's what my opinion is. And she was pushing. I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, I'm done. You know, it's like, I don't think you're listening to me. So that's something that you need to learn in sales. And I'm sure she's probably good, but she lost me. Going back to a real estate career, real estate sales, no higher education, and selling such a high ticket items. And like, what's higher than houses? Like yachts, boats, planes, you know, jets. That's kind of like, you know, this is one of the most expensive things for people, and the commission is great. And if you learn and crack the code, you're gonna be making a lot of good money. Doctors and attorneys and business owners sometimes make less than a good realtor.